Imagine this. You've spent months planning your dream retirement trip to the Amalfi Coast. You're standing at the boarding gate in New York, your passport is in hand, and you go to open that all-in-one travel organizer app you downloaded last week because it promised to keep your flights and hotels in one place. But when you tap the icon, the screen goes white. You try again. Nothing. You approach the gate agent, and they look at the manifest. They tell you something that makes your heart drop into your stomach. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but we have no record of this confirmation number. And according to our system, this seat was cancelled 3 hours ago." It sounds like a nightmare, doesn't it? But as someone who spent 12 years as a lead flight attendant for a major US carrier, I've seen this happen to travelers over 60 more times than I care to count. You weren't bumped because of overbooking. You were digital pocketed. Today, I'm stepping out of the galley and into my role as your senior travel consultant to give you a pre-flight briefing that your airline won't. We are going to identify 3 specific types of apps currently sitting on your phone that are making you a prime target for identity theft, financial loss, and gateside abandonment. By the end of this video, we're going to hit delete together so your next flight is as smooth as a tailwind at 35,000 feet. Before we push back from the gate, let me introduce myself properly. My name is Elena. For over a decade, my office was a Boeing 777. I've managed medical emergencies over the Atlantic, handled unruly passengers before they could make headlines, and ensured that thousands of seniors made it to their cruises, reunions, and bucket list destinations safely. In the industry, we call the lead flight attendant the purser or the in-flight lead. My job was to see the turbulence before the passengers felt it. But about 3 years ago, I noticed the turbulence changed. It wasn't coming from the clouds anymore. It was coming from the devices in my passengers' hands. I remember a lovely couple, Henry and Martha, flying to London for their 50th anniversary. They were so proud of their new smartphones. They had downloaded a free airport Wi-Fi and security app they saw in a Facebook ad. By the time we hit our cruising altitude and I was serving them tea in the premium cabin, Henry's credit card was being used to buy 5 iPhones in Eastern Europe. The app they thought was protecting them was actually a digital vacuum, sucking up their data the moment they connected to the airport's public network. That's why I traded my wings for a consultant's badge. I realized that while the aviation industry has never been safer, the digital side of travel has become the Wild West, especially for my favorite demographic. You have the time and the resources to travel, but you grew up in a world where a handshake meant something and a travel agent was a person you could look in the eye. Scammers know this. They are counting on your politeness and your desire for convenience. But today, I'm giving you the lead's perspective. We're going to do a digital cabin check. Secure your tray tables and put your seats in the upright position because we're about to clean house. Why you? That's the question I get most often when I consult with seniors. Why are these apps targeting travelers over 60? It isn't just because you have retirement savings, though that is a big part of it. It's because of something we call digital friction. You see, tech developers design apps for efficiency. But for a senior traveler, sometimes efficiency is just a fancy word for removing the safety net. In my 12 years in the air, I watched the transition from paper tickets to QR codes. I watched the gate agent disappear behind a kiosk. For many of you, this shift feels like you're being forced to fly the plane yourself. So when an app pops up in the App Store promising to simplify everything or find the secret senior discount, your brain naturally says, "Yes, please. Help me navigate this." Here's the industry secret the tech companies won't tell you. If the app is free, you are the product. For a traveler in their 20s, losing $50 to a glitchy booking app is a lesson learned. But for you, an app glitch can mean being stranded in a foreign country where you don't speak the language, or having your identity compromised during a time in your life when you should be enjoying peace of mind. Scammers and predatory app developers look for 3 things when they target your phone. Number 1, over-permissioning. They want apps that ask for your location, always, access to your contacts, and access to your photos. They aren't doing this to help you. They are building a profile of where you live and when your house is empty because you're at the airport and who your family members are. Number 2, the official facade. They use colors and logos that look remarkably like Delta, United, or the TSA. I've seen passengers show me boarding passes on apps that were actually just screenshots from a phishing site. Number 3, the convenience trap. They offer to store your passwords or autofill your passport data. In the galley, we have a saying, shortcuts lead to short circuits. Storing your most sensitive data in a third-party travel helper is like leaving your wallet on the beverage cart and walking to the back of the plane. I don't say this to scare you. I say this to empower you. Knowledge is the best anti-vibration tool we have in this industry. If you know why they want you to download these helper apps, you'll be much more likely to spot the red flags before you're standing at the jet bridge with a ticket that doesn't exist. So, are you ready to see the first offender? It's an app that millions of seniors have downloaded this year alone, thinking it was a bargain hunter's dream. In reality, it's a one-way ticket to a travel nightmare. If you've ever typed cheap flights to Florida or discount cruises for seniors into a search engine, you've seen them. Apps with names like Travel Saver, Globalgate, or Fly for Less. They promise exclusive industry rates that aren't available on the airline's own website. Here's the part the airlines hope you never find out. Most of these exclusive rates don't actually exist. In the industry, we call these ghost aggregators. They aren't travel agents. They are high-tech middlemen who play a dangerous game of arbitrage with your vacation. They take your money, but they don't actually issue a ticket until the very last second, if they issue it at all. I remember a flight to London in 2015. We were working a night owl departure out of JFK. A gentleman named Mr. Abernathy, probably in his mid-70s, came to the boarding door. He had a printed confirmation from an app called Discount Aero. He was beaming because he'd saved $400 on his premium economy seat. But when I scanned his boarding pass, my handheld device let out a sharp, double beep. That's the sound every flight attendant hates. It means passenger not found. I walked him over to the gate agent. It turns out the app had taken his $1,200, but they never actually ticketed the flight with the airline. They were waiting for the price to drop even further so they could pocket the difference. But the price didn't drop. It went up. The app simply cancelled his request on their end without telling him. Mr. Abernathy was standing there with his suitcase, his dreams of seeing the Tower of London, and a piece of paper that was worth less than the napkin I serve pretzels on. Most people don't know that under U.S. Department of Transportation rules, if you book directly with an airline, you have 24 hours to cancel for a full refund, no questions asked. But if you book through one of these ghost apps, that rule doesn't apply to them. They can charge you service fees, rebooking fees, or simply tell you your ticket is non-refundable from the second you hit buy. For a senior traveler, this isn't just a $400 loss. It's the stress of the gate shuffle. If the airline didn't sell you the ticket, the airline's customer service desk can't help you when things go wrong. They will tell you, you have to call your travel agent. And let me tell you, trying to call a ghost app customer service line while standing in a crowded terminal in Heathrow is a recipe for a medical emergency. But as bad as losing your seat is, it's nothing compared to the app that's currently listening to your every move. We've all been there. You're at the gate, your phone is at 12%, and you see a sign for free airport Wi-Fi or a power boost app that promises to speed up your charging. You think, what's the harm? In my 12 years in the air, I saw the rise of juice-jacking and man-in-the-middle attacks. There are dozens of apps in the store right now disguised as Wi-Fi map finders or battery doctors. They claim to help you find the strongest signal in the airport. Here is the lead's secret. These apps are often created by data brokers. The moment you allow permissions for a Wi-Fi finder app, you are giving it a key to your digital house. I remember a flight back from San Francisco in 2018. A woman in 4C, a retired school teacher, was using a free security VPN app she'd downloaded to stay safe on the airport Wi-Fi. She was checking her brokerage account while we were boarding. By the time we reached 10,000 feet and I began the initial beverage service, she was in tears. She had received an alert on her iPad, which was synced to her phone, that $5,000 had been transferred out of her savings. The security app was actually a keylogger. It was recording every stroke she made on her screen. It didn't protect her connection. It intercepted it. If you are over 60, your financial security is your lifeline. You cannot afford a digital breach while you are 3,000 miles from your home bank. 1. Delete any app that claims to find free Wi-Fi. Your phone's built-in settings already do this. 2. Never, ever use a free VPN. A real secure VPN costs money because they have to maintain secure servers. If it's free, they are selling your data to pay for the lights. 3. The galley trick. Use your phone's hotspot if you have a good data plan. It is infinitely more secure than any free airport network. No matter what an app tells you, we've secured your seat and your bank account. Now, we need to secure your physical safety, because this third app is telling the world exactly where you aren't. This one is the most wolf in sheep's clothing of them all. I'm talking about third-party trip organizers. You know the ones. You forward them your confirmation emails and they build a beautiful little timeline of your trip. They look helpful. They look organized. But in the aviation world, we value operational security. When I was a lead flight attendant, I was never allowed to post my hotel or my flight number on social media until after I had left that city. Why? Because knowing where a person is, and more importantly, where they aren't, is valuable information for the wrong people. I once worked a repatriation flight for a group of seniors whose tour bus had been targeted in a specific European city. The local authorities discovered that the itinerary app many of the travelers were using had a massive data leak. The live location sharing feature, which they thought was just for their kids to see they were safe, was actually being broadcast on a semi-public server. Thieves knew exactly which hotel that group was checking into and exactly when they would be out on their sunset dinner cruise. While they were eating calamari, their hotel rooms were being systematically emptied of jewelry and passports. Many of these apps sync with your home calendar. If you have a smart home setup, cameras, thermostats, or digital locks, and you give a third-party app access to your calendar, you are creating a map for burglars. Airlines keep passenger manifests incredibly secure. We don't even tell the people waiting at the gate if a passenger is on board for privacy reasons. So why would you give that information away to a third-party app that has a 50-page privacy policy you didn't read? If the app isn't the official airline app or the official hotel app, it shouldn't know your flight number or your room number, period. In my years in the galley, I learned that the best organized trip is the one where the information is kept on a need-to-know basis. And right now, these helper apps know way too much. Now that we've cleared the digital clutter from your phone, I'm going to show you the lead safe stack. The only 3 things you actually need to fly like a pro. We've done the hard work of deplaning the bad actors. Your phone should feel a little lighter now that those 3 apps are gone, but I'm not going to leave you empty-handed. As a lead flight attendant, I never just told a passenger no, I always offered a better alternative. In my 12 years in the air, I developed what I call the safe stack. These are the only digital tools you need to navigate the world with the confidence of a seasoned pilot. Number 1. The official airline and hotel apps. If you are flying Delta, use the Delta app. If you are staying at a Hyatt, use the Hyatt app, because when a flight is delayed or a room is overbooked, the airline and hotel systems prioritize direct bookings first. If you booked through a third-party app, you are at the bottom of the manifest. Turn on push notifications only for these apps. This is how I used to know about a gate change before the airport speakers even made the announcement. Number 2. The digital wallet. Instead of carrying a dozen different apps with your credit card info, use the wallet that came with your phone. When you use your phone to pay at a duty-free shop or a cafe in Paris, the wallet doesn't actually give them your credit card number. It sends a one-time token. Even if the shop system is hacked, your card number remains safe inside your phone's black box. Number 3. One vetted communication tool. For senior travelers, staying in touch with family is the number 1 priority. Stick to the gold standards. These apps use end-to-end encryption. You don't need a free international calling app that asks for access to your microphone 24/7. By narrowing your digital world down to these 3 pillars, you aren't just making your life simpler, you're making it unhackable. You are closing the cabin doors to the scammers and keeping the cockpit for yourself. Now, I want to give you my personal pre-flight inspection. Just like we check the emergency exits and the oxygen masks before every takeoff, you need to check these 3 settings on your phone before you leave your driveway. Setting number 1. The significant locations sweep. Did you know your phone keeps a record of where you go most often? It's buried deep in your settings. While it's meant to help you, if a rogue app gets access to this, they know exactly where your home is. Go to Settings, Privacy, Location Services, System Services, Significant Locations. Clear the history and turn it off. You don't need your phone mapping your retirement community while you're in Rome. Setting number 2, the background app refresh toggle. This is the silent battery killer. Many of those apps we just deleted were talking to the internet even when you weren't using them. Go to Settings, General, Background App Refresh, switch it to Wi-Fi only, or turn it off entirely for everything except your airline and maps apps. Setting number 3, 2-factor authentication. I know, it can be a nuisance to wait for a code to be texted to you. But in the aviation world, we have a two-person rule for the cockpit. One person never has total control. If an app or a bank offers two-factor authentication, take it. It is the single most effective way to prevent someone from stealing your retirement funds while you're busy enjoying a sunset in Maui. Think of these settings as your in-flight safety card. You might not need them every day, but when you do, they are the difference between a minor hiccup and a total emergency. You've made it through the briefing. I know we covered a lot of ground today, and if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, that's okay. Remember, you didn't learn to drive a car in a day, and you don't have to master digital travel in one afternoon. To help you out, I've put together a master checklist in the description below this video. You can print it out and keep it in your passport holder. It's my gift to you, from one traveler to another. To keep bringing you these updates weekly while I'm consulting, I use advanced technology to share my 12 years of experience. This allows me to stay in the air and keep researching the latest threats so you don't have to. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever had a travel nightmare caused by an app? Or maybe you have a question about a specific tool you're using right now? Drop a comment below. I read every single one, and our travel crew here is one of the most supportive on the internet. If you found this briefing helpful, please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. It helps me reach more travelers who might be one bad app away from a disaster. Thank you for flying with me today. Remember, the world is still a beautiful, big, and welcoming place. You just need the right tools to see it. I'm Elena, your senior travel consultant. Your adventure is just beginning. Let's fly right.